Welcome back once again to the Verbal Exchange. I have to speak on this. I feel like I have to say something about this. Um, we're talking Lavar Ball and of course Lonzo Ball projected to go number two overall out of UCLA to the Lakers. Uh, there's been some talk. There's been some talk circulating around the Lakers organization that they could potentially take De'Aaron Fox, some other players that they were considering. I feel like all of this was in response to some comments that LeVar made about specifically not wanting his son to work out for any other team but the Lakers. Um, you know, LeVar Ball is very, very, very boisterous, um, very opinionated, um, you know, rubs some people the wrong way. So there's a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk out there right now, and I want to address it. First off, um, I've been a Lakers fan for life, and if they don't take Lonzo Ball at number two, I'm getting in my car and I'm driving LA, and me and Magic gonna have a problem. I'm gonna meet him somewhere. I'm gonna meet him outside the arena. I'm gonna have to follow him to his house. I'm gonna have to roll up on him while he's stopping to get. We gonna have words, and it might escalate. Okay, if this gets to Magic, I doubt it will. But if this gets to Magic, just know, if you don't take Lonzo at number two, it's gonna be a problem. He's that good. Yeah, this kid is exactly he's exactly what the Lakers need going forward. And I'm talking about a franchise guy. I'm talking about a player that can dribble, pass, and shoot. You know, uh, he is essential to the rebuilding efforts for the Los Angeles Lakers right now. So when I read all of this talk about De'Aaron Fox and all of that, who's a great player, don't get me wrong. Um, I try not to read too much into that. I don't need my blood pressure going up that high right now. Um, but yeah, it's Lonzo Ball or the draft is a bust. Said that, meant that. For all my fellas on the EMC out there, for everybody that's tuning in back in Fort Worth on the EMC, I said that and I meant that. Lonzo Ball, number two overall to the Lakers, or the draft is a bust. But specifically LeVar Ball. Let's talk about him. Um, Me personally, after I've been on both sides of the fence. He first came out and the first time the media got to look at this guy, it was just like, who is this crazy dude? He's talking, he's saying all of this outlandish. Um, I think he's on record saying that he would have beat Jordan if they played 1-on-1. You know, uh, that among several other comments that he's made, that are just you kind of scratch your head and you're like, is this guy for real? Um, I was pro LeVar Ball for a while, and then I was anti LeVar Ball. I really didn't like the way his segment went with Colin Cowherd and Kristen Leahy. I think that was extremely personal. I think he was a little bit flustered, and I just everybody has a bad day, and that just was a bad day for him in terms of being that guy, being that controversial guy. Given the sound bite, everybody wants to be that person that can say something to get all of the writers buzzing. You know, give them a headline. But when you start attacking, uh, you know, Kristen, and you making the sexist comments and things of that nature, it's 2017. We can do without that. I feel like he had a bad day. Um, that was really a negative mark on him. Um, and but I don't think that is who he is. It's a part of him, yes. But I think he was trying to do something and he just didn't do it very well. You know, uh, we've seen from the clips, the behind the scenes footage that Lavar is very much the family man. For all appearances, I guess you could say. He's been married with his wife for a long time. He's very family oriented. So I don't think some of the things that he said when he's had the camera in his face are indicative of who he is. 100%. Um, Big baller brand. Big baller brand. What's going on with that? Lonzo rolled out the shoe. I believe it's called the ZO2, ZO2s. Crazy price point on the ZO2s. Um, they caught a lot of flack for that. There was a misleading headline that he had sold a a boatload of shoes. I guess in the first initial launch, people were thinking, I guess at one point, that he had made a bunch of money on the shoes. Come to find out, that wasn't the case. They didn't move a lot of units, um, and so of course they caught a lot of backlash for that. I think the most disrespectful part about these shoes is how heavily he borrowed from the Kobe's. They look very similar to the Kobe's. Um, but with all of that being said, I'm still a fan of Big Baller Brand. I'm not buying the shoes. I can't afford a $500 pair of sneakers. Um, ain't no shame in me saying that. But I want the brand to be successful. I want to see them break the mold, and do something on their own that was created by them, nurtured by them, um, and I want them to prove everybody wrong. I want to see that success story. There's some critics that say Lavar cost Lonzo a lot of money. He cost him 10 million. He cost him 8 million. Oh, Nike was going to offer him a $50 million deal, so on and so forth. Um, it could be the case. He very well might have cost him money up front. So what? So what? Lonzo's still going to the NBA. He better go number 2 overall. He's going to be one of the first picks off the board, you know, and he's got a very long, we hope, uh, very long career ahead of him. And if there's one thing that I know, uh, after watching sports and after watching a lot of these controversial athletes for so many years, is if you perform on the field, if you perform on the court, the money will come. There's no question of that. There's no debate. We've seen megastars, some of the biggest names in the history of sports, get caught up in crazy scandals. I'm talking scandals where people were sexually assaulted. I'm talking scandals where people were raped. I'm talking domestic violence. I'm talking even murder. Um, people that have been implicated in murders. Um, and once the smoke clears, once the dust settles, their performance speaks volumes and it generates dollars. So let's say Nike was going to offer Lonzo 10 million. That deal's off the table. Lonzo could very well be the rookie of the year. You don't think Nike's not going to come back and want to sit back down at that negotiating table? You don't think Reebok, Adidas, and Under Armour, if Lonzo comes out and he averages 14, 8, and 6 as a rookie, and there's a clear turnaround in LA and things are starting to look up and the Lakers are once again a franchise to be talked about, and I'm not saying it's going to happen that fast, but if this kid comes out as a rookie and he's producing and he's as advertised and he's making those plays that only players of his caliber can make as a pass first point guard with the ability to score the basketball. I mean, we could potentially be talking a Chris Paul caliber or higher level player. He's bringing the height, he's bringing the length, he's bringing the basketball IQ. He's got a face for LA. He's a humble guy. He's well spoken. He's everything that the Lakers organization, being the glitz and glam type of franchise that it is, he's everything that they need right now, especially on the heels of Kobe retiring. Let's just be honest. Uh, D'Angelo Russell hasn't been the guy. He has not been the guy. The jury's still out. Uh, I believe Lonzo Ball could be the guy that comes in and he's convincing people day one that that's the guy that we want to hitch our cart to, going forward. That's the guy that we want to ride uh, down the season into the playoffs and hopefully towards a championship. That's the guy that's going to take us to 2025 and beyond. I believe that Lonzo Ball is that guy. Nobody's worried about Lavar Ball because he's boisterous or boisterous, off the court. He's been that way since Lonzo started playing basketball, and it hasn't affected his game one iota. Lavar was an issue in high school, and Lonzo was still a top recruit. He was an issue at UCLA for that one season, and Lonzo still performed extremely well and is going to be a lottery pick. Like I said, please I cannot stress this enough. If he doesn't go number 2 overall, it's going to be a serious problem. I want that on record. It's going to be a serious problem. I will see Magic and we'll throw hands. We'll do that. You know, but Lonzo's consistency and his talent speak so much louder than LeVar Ball speaks. That's just a fact of it. And what people don't realize is that LeVar may appear to be a distraction to us, but he might be the single most influential figure in his son's lives, all three of them. Lonzo, LaMelo, LiAngelo, I believe I got all their names right. It's Lee. All of them is Lee something. You know, I feel better about Lonzo going to the Lakers and being close to his father because LeVar Ball he's such a strong filter for his children. Think about how many snakes and how many bad influences and how many bad deals are going to be turned away, are going to be stopped, are going to be filtered out before they ever even get to Lonzo Ball because LeVar Ball is such a dominating presence. You know, he truly wants the best for his children. He truly wants the best for his son. So, yeah, we hear him talking and he's loud and it kind of rubs us the wrong way a little bit. But he has his sons in a wonderful place. They're all young, they're all talented, they're all focused, and they have that protector. They have that bulldog that is willing to take every single criticism. He's willing to take every single shot. And he's willing to say whatever he has to say to ensure that his sons are successful and to ensure that they get the attention that they deserve and to ensure that Big Baller brand is first and foremost in their careers and that they're not sacrificing ultimately money down the line to Nike. You know, let's say, and I'm gonna touch on this once again briefly, and we're gonna close the segment out because I got my man Quinn with me, and we're gonna go into a different area. He just hit me up. That $10 million deal that he would sign with Nike is nothing compared to the money that they can make and keep in house as a family if Lonzo, LiAngelo, and LaMelo all blow up and go on to have successful NBA careers and they all carry that mantle for Big Baller brand. You know, if they are successful on the court, people will support them because that's just how it works. That's just how it works. If he's balling, I might even go try and get a pair of them damn shoes. That's just real talk. If he's balling, people will buy. The only reason why people haven't bought already is not because his dad. It's just because he's unproven and the price is a little high. You know, nobody complains when they go buy a $600 pair of Stacey Adams. Stacey Adams has a pedigree. Nobody compares when they wait in line to go buy a $400 pair of retro J's. The Jays have a pedigree. You know, give Lonzo time, and mark my words, we'll all be saying, man, Lavar was right the whole time. Lavar had a vision. Big Baller Brand is where it's at. That's just my thoughts on that. Like I said, Magic, Lonzo needs to go number 2 overall. If he doesn't, you'll hear from me. You know, I might be on the East Coast, but I will make my way to LA, and I promise you, you're gonna have to see me with them hands. That's it. That's all I got. We're gonna switch it up. I gotta get Quinn on the mic. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. This is the Verbal Exchange. I'm signing off. Peace.